Alrighty, Doc here from North America. The numbers are out. I can't tell if they're good, bad, or indifferent, but the stock market is going down. So that is for the time being. Anything is possible. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right, let's see what we got going on here today. Where's the Swiss at? Let's put the Swiss in there. Oop. Let's put the Swiss in there again. There we are. And there's the Swiss. And let's check out. Oh, we don't even have it up on here. Let's get it up on there. Open Sesame. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. Okay. So that's the action we're seeing here. We see the. I'm not really convinced one way or the other if anything's really going on. McConnell, I think, has done a parliamentary strategy that I think is good. Does it have is it the best? No, but it's a good strategy. I think that more than likely, with the way things look right now, it looks like a very smart move. Now the media is trying to say that he caved or something like that. I don't know how to. I don't pay attention to that stuff to begin with because they don't make a lot of sense most of the time anyway. That's the problem with the media is the media is such a outlandish group now that doesn't make a lot of sense, that there's not much to be said about what they say. So we don't really pay attention to it, but I've had friends call and go, he's caved, and it's like, no, he didn't cave. It's a strategy. It's a parliamentary strategy, and what it does is it traps the spending even longer. In other words, the fact that they can't spend. That's what he's done. He's trapped them so that they can't spend. We'll see. So anyway, that's where we are today. It's like the beat goes on. It never seems to stop. There's always these games in Washington, and everybody's like confused to try to figure out, what is happening now versus what was happening 6 days ago, so forth and so on. And it's just a odd situation that goes on. One of the traders sent me a message this morning who's been trading for like 65, 70 years. He's in his 80s. He said to me, maybe I should, let me see if I can find it. Let me exactly say the words he sent me. Something about being pinched to make sure that he's not dreaming. I think that's what he said exactly. But let me just go find it because it was funny. I just thought it was funny. At least I did. Let's see, it's not there. Maybe that's it right there. He said years ago, this is another one he sent too. Years ago, I saw a movie with fractured supply lines and government policies creating a problem. Like this, my guess would be Woody Allen or Charlie Chaplin. And, and he said basically every day, and then on another email, he said, every day, it's like as if I need to be pinched to make sure that I'm awake. So, it is definitely. I keep pinching myself. ... I understand, but keep thinking it's a dream sequence. Amazing, and that's where we are in this time. It is a weird, wild, woolly financial period where I think I gave my answer to it was something like 2 trillion increase in debt. It's peanuts, and it wasn't what the Democrats wanted. So, I don't see. In other words, it's not they're going to spend the 2 trillion. It's just that they raised the debt ceiling 2 trillion, and that seems to be the confusion out there because of the way the media is playing it. So, anyhow, as you can see, as I can see, as we all can see, the Swiss this morning is basically down a little bit. Was down a lot more, and is bouncing back to almost unchanged. As you can see on J4X, the line is starting to turn. That down at the bottom, it looks like it wants to lift up, and you can see in Chicago Quant, it is lifting up already. And we had the volatility signal yesterday, and we have no dot today at all. So they're buying dollars again. Oh joy! It always amazes me when I see that. And it's like, you're kidding me. But they do, and I know it's the strangest of the strange, and it's just the way it is. But they rush towards these things and c'est la vie. All right, let's get to the chat line and see what's going on there. Hey, there we go. Douglas is here this morning. Welcome to the hood. And 47's here. Can we look at the CAD? Sure, we can look at the CAD. Let's look at the CAD. Right there. And let's put it up on J4X. Which mouse is that? There it is. Okay, over on Chicago Quant, you can see it's trying to bounce up on the line, just like it is doing over here on J4X, but not getting there yet. Went into the daily sell here. We're in a weekly buy there, going nowhere. 47 is just basically, it has not made any real commitment. I mean, it has been on a downwardly slope. You can see that. Let's go over here real quick like that. You see we went into a weekly sell up in here, lasted for a whole week with a daily sell, so it was a winner chicken dinner. And then barely a chicken dinner, just making it. And then we went into the buy here, popped up, and then we climbed in the weekly buy again. And now it's flirting with holding there. It's playing with the time manifold. You can see the daily is trying to get through the zero line. You can see here on J4X we got a little curve going on here, a green dot to a red dot, and in this case here it's all red, and we'll just watch and see if they start to turn it even more. I guess automatically my mind defaults to the idea of where is crude oil this morning. I don't think I'll throw it on the screen at the moment since we're just rolling along, unless you care to see it. But I think what we're really at this point in time is that the let's see, last I saw crude oil was down, and it's unchanged now. It took a nice dip and now it's unchanged. So probably, and I wonder where gold is at. When I look at Canadian, I always think of those two products to see what they're doing. Gold is down a little bit, which is a little surprising, and the weekly is back in it's underneath the minus again. It was up plus this morning. Now it's moved back down again. A couple hours ago when we sent the charts out, was that way. Let's see. Douglas says oil, Doc. Cool. Okay, let's see the oil. Here comes oil. Where's that button? There it is, right there. And there's the button there. You can see. Oh, that's gold. See, there's gold. And look at the weekly. It was with the little green circle, and now it's minus again. And then the crude oil is where's crude oil? Right above it. There it is. And crude oil has a nice long tail on it at this point. Still in the sell. It's just barely unchanged to minus. But the weekly's so strong, it's just what it is there. 47 says price. What price? Oh, wait a minute. Because of the high oil prices, shouldn't it drop more? No, what, the Canadian? Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. That is usually the way it rolls. I agree. As I take a sip of my tea. Yeah, it should. We should see some, some buying pressure on the product. We really should. And so, in other words, the dollar should go, it should get stronger against the dollar. I agree. And I think I mentioned it yesterday, and I did mention it to my friend from trading, from the exchange floors, that $33 was it natural gas in Europe is something to be concerned about, and then it equates to $240 a barrel in oil terms. So that's a lot to be thinking about there, I hope that answered all the questions. And then what we'll do is we'll drift to, let's see, where do we drift to? Oh yes, we go back to, did we finish off the Swiss? Just take a look at the Swiss real quick. And so yeah, Swiss trying to bounce up on the J4X, you can see that. And then you can see it over, that's the Canadian. Just double check that we finished off the Swiss right there. It's trying to get through. Matter of fact, now, I think last we looked, it was a little minus. Now it's a little plus. Look at that. We got a plus candle going on there. And We're through the line here. So I hope that all makes sense. Good. Thank you, guys. All right, let's roll over to the euro. Right, where are your euro? Right there, there you go. And let's take a look at it here. Now what's curious is the euro is going down a little bit more against the dollar. Nothing major. And then you can see it here, and it's trying to roll over again here, which is kind of, wow. You know, like, wow, they're going to knock it down harder. At the same time, when we sent out our British pound charts this morning, that was going up in price. I was like, what? British pound being bought, euro being sold, and I saw the bounce back. Let me just finish my sip here. And I saw the bounce back of, oh, where's the microphone there? There. And we saw the bounce back in the Swiss. So, you know, they're reaching for the dollars. I guess there was concern about the debt ceiling. I don't know why, but you know, they do that stuff. You know, when you have a really bad media that doesn't really reflect the true information, things get really confusing. I could see that. I was noticing when they were having problems last week. You know, the Washington was having problems and they couldn't figure out what they were doing next, and they were trapped and they kept on trying to take votes and they couldn't get the votes done, and you know that's not normal for the Democrats, and you know it just shows you how much trouble they're in. They can't even get votes done when they're just a pack of animals. That you know, like we always describe them as a pack of wolves or something like that. In other words, they all work together usually. You know, they always move in a pack or a flock. Whereas Republicans can go in different directions because you have business people and individuals who are only going into politics most of the time just to clean up government or try to fix government, and then they get there and they realize it's hard to fix. A whole different creature. Matter of fact, I even put a quote up there. Was it Eisenhower, the president of the United States back in the 50s, had an interesting statement. He said about the Democrats back then. He said that they're just power-hungry people. Someone's been showing one of these big quotes he had about them just being criminal in political terms. And so it's very odd to see what happened last week when they can't get the votes on Monday, and then they couldn't get the votes on Thursday. It shows you the frustration level, and I don't know, I don't pay attention to the media, so I don't really know what they're reporting, but he is polling so low in some states. He's in West Virginia, he's polling at 18%. 18%. In Arizona, he's polling at like 36%. And nationally, he's polling in the mid 30s, and maybe the mid to high 30s, low 40s in some places. So it's very hard to get votes passed when you're the president and you poll like that. It makes things tough, which makes markets confused. You know. Let me take my sip of my tea here. All right, so that's where we are there. Now check out cable. Cable's actually up. The daily's trying to break down. The weekly is down. Let's do this too. As I sip my tea. Look at where's the cable at? Right there. You see it's up. So we were up coming in today. We're higher, and the line is trying to get back to the zero line here. It's very on the edge. Look at it. What is it? Minus 0.00042. Just dropped from 39. Because it's a minus. There's 41. So there's 39 again. You see the box on plot 1 is changing. They all changed, all the plots, but there's 42 again. So that is wild, you know. Wow, down. Woo 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 woo. Oh, You mean the polls for Biden? Yeah, yeah, he's polling all over the place. Really bad for a couple months now, but it's gotten really, really bad, um, especially in West Virginia, where Manchin's from. You know, where the Democrat senator is from. He's polling at 18%. So there's not much of a reason to want to vote for anything he wants. Then he's polling in what was it, the other state that the woman senator's from, um, Arizona. He's polling at 36%. That's not exactly something you want to, as a senator, sitting senator, you don't want to exactly support those policies when your state says no, thank you, because they'll make an issue. The opposition will make an issue out of that for like the next 3 years. It'll be just like bang, 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 bang. So no, that is not exactly something that anybody can support, and that's why the markets are being the way they are now. This morning, and yesterday afternoon, McConnell. Remember, there was a vote last hour before markets closed here. There was a vote on the floor of the Senate to what did it? They suspend the debt ceiling, and that didn't happen at all because they didn't have the votes for that. So McConnell said, "Look, we extend the debt ceiling $2 trillion, and you can come back and deal with it in December." And the Democrats jumped on that, and everybody's thinking that's some type of relinquishment, but it's not. It's all it is doing exactly what the Republicans wanted them to do a $2 trillion thing. So all the Democrats will vote for it, probably. A couple of Republicans will vote for it. Boom, done. One more sip of the tea. And that makes the markets happy. And that's what it's really all about at this point. They just want some stability so that there's not like a debt rating drop. Now, in December, doesn't mean it has to be addressed again. That's the part that's what like people like myself appreciate. It's not that they've extended the debt ceiling to December, which they claim in the news, what I hear. When I read what they did, they're raising the debt ceiling $2 trillion. So if they don't spend any money between now and then, they don't have to raise it in December. See, that's the trap. Now, they could try to go spend it, but they're not really that. I don't think they have the votes. That's the problem. I don't think they have any votes for any of this. So what does that mean for us traders? It means the market should be a little bit more stable. Well, we shouldn't be like looking over our shoulder as much. Now, obviously, other circumstances can push the markets, but chances are, I don't really see a lot of change coming in the next 2 months. I really don't. I don't think that the Democrats are going to get their game together any better or any worse than what they have right now. I don't see anything changing for them. No one wants to vote for it, and Biden keeps on going down in the polls. And, he had a rally in Michigan. I remember telling everybody here on the webinar 2 days ago, he had a rally in Michigan. There were more opposition to him out there than there was support. So I would say this is a sign that the markets are going to be kind of, seasonal. I guess that's the best way to describe it. They'll be seasonal. How's that sound? Yeah, seasonal. All right. From here, what do? We go from here to the Turkish Lira. See what they're doing with that. There's a dollar Turkish Lira. It did close in the daily buy yesterday. Let's get it up on J4X. Let's see, J4X, Turkish Lira. Right there. You can see here, just by the hair of its chinny chin. Boy, is it marching along our dots or what? Is that something? Those dots have been there for what, 6 months now? 7 months? And we've been watching them and watching them and watching them. That was a projection from that problem when the central banker left with $2 billion in cryptocurrency, and the Turkish lira exploded. And you can see here it's trying to turn up again. and we're in a weekly buy. And, in other words, there's no real sign of weakness here. Now let's take a look at the Euro Turkish Lira. Right there. You see it's also up. A little red here still. And where's the line at? The line is trying to turn up. Let's see what we got over here. Right there we are. And you can see same situation. Reds all across the line there with some volatility dots, just like we have right here. See that on the J4X matching up with our work. And just still a little weakness still. Whereas the dollar, it's already in a buy. We'll see what that means. I'm not sure what that usually means. I think that, in my mind, I see more stats that show that the Euro Turkish Lira is definitely a more accurate way of viewing it. But one thing is for sure, both of them are in strong weekly buys now for the last 3 full weeks, going on the 4th. Alrighty, so now what we do is from here, we go back to Canadian again real quick, just to try to do a little bit more analyzation. We did that for 47 and Douglas, but let's go back there again real quick. Where am I at? Yeah, right there. So, as 47 said, and I agree, we should see a Canadian going down because of the way oil is going up, and gold has been firm, that type of thing, and silver. Both of them have been doing fine. So that's normally the way it goes. So what we'll do now is we'll drift over to those areas and look at them a little bit more in depth. And let's put it up on here. Here's crude oil to start off with. Or we can go to the metals complex first. Right there, and you can see there's gold trading in the 1756 area. And over here we have gold trading at same way, just down a little bit, but still in a daily buy. What's going on here? Let's see. And this is, they're both down. There we go. And you can see the line is being challenged. It's curved over here on the J4X, like it is over here on the Chicago Quant. But the difference is that obviously this is a little bit behind still. And so what will happen is it's live trading, but the math is the best math you can find in the public arena. But it's not, again, this is Doc's math. Doc's math is back-tested incredible amounts of decades, made hundreds of millions, so forth and so on. So it's, we're ahead of the curve. But this, let's put it this way, this is the best you can put together on a public machine as far as I'm concerned. And it makes MACD look slow. Let's put it that way. And this is the fast-moving stochastic working against the slow-moving stochastic. That's how that works there. So, all right, and so that's the gold. And then let's take a look at silver. Right there. Silver barely down, was it really moving up nicely at one point there. Still in the green, and this is still in the buy, so this is cool. And let's take a look at her over here. And same situation there, still in the green, just like J4X right there. Still in the green, still in the buy. It's channeling the time manifold a little bit there, but nothing major. Now the sad part out of all this, Rob and I wrote a little story about this last week. It's 21 weeks going on 22 weeks in a sell on the weekly. I mean, they just cannot get this thing off its back. It's been in a weekly sell all the way since back here. Since the, was that the 28-ish, 29-ish area? It just cannot get off this weekly buy. It just refuses to. And they refer to this as a stair step. Right here. A drop like that. Then a drop like that. And then a drop like that. And then another drop like that. It's, for us supporters of free markets and free people, it's hard to watch that go on like that. But it does. It keeps on marching along. Silver does that, and the metals complex does that. All right. Then from there, we'll take a quick look at platinum. We have the Jan Platinum in there, right there. And we were looking at that yesterday. We marked it up a couple days ago. Where we're thinking some type of triangle is forming in here. We're watching that. You can see it has had a $100 move up, and it seems to be holding it to a great extent. It's not willing to give it up. And we're playing with another weekly. After 21 weeks, this product was the same way. It was silver. Matter of fact, we don't even see it at this point, but it was many weeks. It was 21 weeks before it went into a weekly buy. Then went into a weekly sell last week, and now it's flirting with the weekly buy again. So something is brewing there when it comes to the metals complex, which that's why we were paying attention to silver. We were hoping, Oh, sure, Douglas, let's jump over we can do that. Remember, traders, you can, if you want to see something, we're talking about something, and you want to see something else, just shout it out. We'll go after it. I love looking at different stuff. Here is, let me just explain. I go back to the sequence again, and then if you say I want to see something else, then we go back to that again. I just go through a rhythm. My discipline makes me do a rhythm, but I can stop that rhythm at any moment and go look at anything else. So there's no problem there. So anybody out there wants to see something like Douglas does right now with S&P 500, no problem. You can see here 3 days in the daily buy, but notice the weekly is having its issues here. It's not able to really make the turn, but the daily has. You can see a couple green dots. No dot that day. Then they almost made a new low. It didn't take out the low there, but it got close and then turned back up. Let's take a look at it over on J4X. See right there. Now this S&P 500, for those that may not know that or know this, is that the S&P 500 has 500 stocks in it, 500 companies, and out of them, over half of them, or equal to half of them, is foreign incorporated. So they're not American companies. So half of them are American, based, and then the other half are foreign. They could be from South Africa. They could be from Germany. They could be from anywhere. They're foreign incorporated companies. So like a Siemens is in there, and a British Aerospace is in there, and a Royal Dutch Shell is in there. That type of thing. It's just the best of the best, and so forth. As you can see here on the J4X, same situation. 2 days in a green, like us, right there. And the white line has pierced a few days back. So, for those traders out there that are looking for a good index, a good indicator system, the Hinky Ashies right here, and the fast-moving stochastic versus the slow-moving stochastic. That's the dashed line. Gives you a really good tool there, traders. It's a really good tool. It's a public tool, and it's a good tool. It's for free. All right. What else do you got here? I guess that's about it when it comes to the what do you call it? The S&P 500. Now, what is it? As I sip my tea again. What is it? It's the NASDAQ. We can take a quick look at some of the others. See, the NASDAQ's doing the same thing. Now it's been a buy just for 1 day, going on a second day. What's got my eye is this one, the Dow Jones Industrial. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, flirting with the weekly buy. Last week failed at it, and this week it's cleanly through it, whereas the other two are not. And we're in a daily buy here. And it tried to do it. Got in there yesterday. Tried to do it a couple days ago and failed at it. You can see the histogram was moving plus, and it says something like that's why I said I think the political decisions that have been made are putting the noise behind us now, just a little bit. You still have the seasonality thing to go on. The hedge funds have to take profits. You have all that other stuff that goes on this time of the year. But overall, it's definitely, we're starting to get that stuff put behind us. The minority leader in the Senate, the Republican minority leader, came up with a plan which was probably it was very easy for him to do. He's very skilled at the policies, and he probably knows what the votes look like, and he knows that that there's going to be some Republican senators that would like to be able to vote for something like that. So he gives them the chance, and then in December, if they don't spend that money, they don't have to vote again. If they try to spend that money, then they have to vote again. But this time, I don't think the Republicans will vote. So in other words, they'll basically say, look, you had a choice. Raise the debt ceiling or go spend a lot of money. What do you want to do? And do they really want to do that in December? I don't think so. They have to go back to their constituents for for the most of December and January. So, and go back, to deal with the constituents. And with the way Mr. Biden's polling, it's not exactly the most definite thing you want to do at that time of the year. Let's put it that way. All right. From there, we go back to the currencies. Where do we go? We go to the South African rand. Wait a minute. Did we even look at crude oil? And I'm a little confused here. I don't think we looked at crude oil and natural gas. So let's just do that while we're in this area, and we had already passed by the Canadian. So let's do this. There's gold. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We did that, right. We want to do the energies. Let's do the energies. So there's crude oil. And crude oil's, it's in a cell there. You can see that. Let's see what it looks like over in J4X. I'm tempted to go sip it. There's a little bit left in my teacup. You can see here, it's actually a little plus. It's trying to be plus. That's light sweet crude from Texas. It's moving up a little bit in there. Matter of fact, if we give ours a refresh, I wonder what that does. Let's see what that does. It is, yeah, so just a little bit plus, almost plus. So now, just as we are, you can see the lines. Let's see where's that mouse. As you can see here, it's pushed into the cell here today for J4X. It has pushed in there yesterday on our work. 2 red dots versus just the one right now. In a couple hours, this will turn into, I guess not. It'll just be lagging because it's tight like this. So. And that's where we are with the crude oil. Now let's look at natural gas. Natural gas sold down yesterday, pretty interestingly. Let's put it up on J4X first. Where are you, nat gas? I know you're here somewhere. Right there we are. And it's come down from the 6s. This is the American price. And let's find it right here. Now you got that pressure today. We've been in the cell since yesterday, but it's bounced back up. The weekly is very strong. We went into the weekly in the 390 area, 380 area. The thing ran the $6+ was the high there. The high was 639, and yesterday was 642. So, that's an interesting $2.50 move almost up. That's pretty powerful. As I was saying about one of my old trading friends, one of the old chairmen of one of the exchanges, he says he has to pinch himself every day to make sure he's awake, from what he's seeing, and it's not a dream. I explained to you earlier in the webinar, there are pretty high prices there at $32 and $33. We put the chart up a couple days ago, showing the difference between the European natural gas and the American natural gas. Awful high, up in the sky. All right, from there we're going to switch over to now the South African rand, and because we're seeing kind of mixed things here, I'm assuming what we're going to see is, the South African rand probably being firm. So let's go find the South African rand. There we go, right. There it is. Put it up over here too. That's not it. That's not it. Where's it going? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, I see what it is. I gotta switch screens. There we go. There we go, right there. Activate. Activate. Let's see how that goes. Alright. Alright, so what are we seeing here? We're seeing, there we go, we see it there. You can see it's, it's trying to move down a little bit, which is a little surprising. I thought it would be more up. And the same thing here, it's trying to move down a little bit, which is pretty good, I mean, that is really good. We're looking for, to try to see this. We're assuming if we see this product head back down again, we're assuming that we're going to see more strength in the metals complex. Now, platinum seems to be pointing that out to us at the moment, but we're not really seeing it anywhere else. I mean, we're seeing it in silver, but we can't get that weekly to move. So, it's kind of like, it's a dead cat bounce. And then we see it in gold. And gold was flirting with the weekly buy again, a couple hours ago. But, just, we're not seeing it, just not seeing it at the moment. But we're hoping, hope's eternal. So, all right, from there, we go over to the ruble. Let's see what that did. That closed in a day. Oh, where's the fact check spreadsheet? We haven't seen that at all today. That's right, we haven't highlighted as much. There it is. And the ruble, there's a ruble there. 4 days in a sell now. 8 weeks in a sell. So let's check out the ruble. Red, right there, yeah, just moving down. And it was flirting at the beginning of the week with the weekly buy, but it's disappeared altogether. And you can see it right here. Down, down she rolls. Where she stops, only Doc knows. And you can see here it's already hitting its bottom on the J4X, but not a buy signal, it's just hitting a bottom. That's it. I mean, you see it hit it here for like up in this area here, and you see it goes down a few more days. So, same thing here. It hit the bottom, we got a bounce for a day or two, and then a couple days, 3 days, and then it rolled over again. So we're not really convinced that there's a lot of positive action coming out of that at the moment. All right. From there, we go over to the yen. Let's see what the yen says. The yen is, where is the yen? Right there. So we're 3 weeks in a buy and 2 days in a buy. Right there. You see it's trying to jump back up into a buy there on the J4X now, which is a good thing. And let's see what it looks like right here. There we are. You see it right there. It's been in a buy for 3 days now. This is the third day. And that you see that weekly buy for 3 weeks and going on a fourth week now. So, trying to lift it up, and that's usually the sign of the dollar going up. Hey, Doc! Pole Central Bank to buy. Yeah, I saw that. First I saw, what was interesting is I saw a quote the day before, Max. I saw that. I thought that was interesting. It was 22 tons the day before. And then the next day, this one came out for 100 tons. Maybe someone was willing to lighten up or something. I don't know. Maybe they got a bargain when they bid on, when they went bidding on 100 tons. I mean 20 tons, 22 tons. Then maybe someone said, "Hey, I got another 78 tons. Would you like it?" But yeah, the day before I mentioned it in the webinar that they were talking about 22 tons, and then yesterday it was 100 tons. So that's kind of interesting. Funny, huh? All right. Let's see, where are we going from? Where do we go from here? Yeah, yeah, we talked about that yesterday, and like I said, I was really curious how they went from 22 tons to 100 tons. I know, it is funny. All right, so where do we go from? Oh yes, we go over to the. We just did the yen, right? Yeah. So we'll look at the Mexican peso. But did you see, Max, our gold charts? You just come in. I can go back to gold and silver if you want. There's the Mexican peso. You see, it's up again, and we've been emphasizing that with those ovals. There it is, right there, taking out some highs. Now, yesterday they really popped it, and today they're firm, but nowhere near yesterday's highs. And let me just show you that. We'll tighten this up. This is what, our third oval, I think, we've been watching out of the last bunch of months, where they get these little bumps up and then it rolls over. But notice we're in a weekly buy here, and the last one was there, and then the following week it went into a sell. But here this week we're in a buy again. Same thing here. We were in a weekly buy, coming out of a weekly sell, and then the following week it fell over. But notice this time it's not falling over. It's making me wonder, is this trying to, kind of gravitate towards that top end of the range of the 2050 area? I think I said something about 4 days ago about, I had a feeling, because of the way the weekly was acting, that we might see a new higher range. I think that's the way it was. Just came in, no problem at all. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so this is the Mexican peso, and we're just kind of a little curious what's going on there. I don't know if it has any. There's supposedly this herd of people, like 400,000, heading towards the border, and I'm not sure what that means in the sense of what kind of pressure that's happening to the Mexican economy. So we'll see what they're doing there on that situation. But it does seem to catch my eye that we could see. I guess it was Monday. I said, and last week we were wondering that too, because of the way the weekly took off. I think it wasn't really zoom. Notice that the last two times we had ovals up. Let me just show you. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, it was like a big spike. It was a big spike, and then the following Monday it went down. And I remember saying last week. This time it did it. It was a smaller little spike, and this was even smaller, and it really showed some strength. In other words, a couple days lasted longer than this one. Then it rolled over, but didn't go as high. It didn't go as high as it did this time. But what bothered me, on the upside was this. I was expecting this length, and I started wondering if we're going to try to change the range because of the inflation and everything. So, that's what caught my eye. Maxine says, let's see, 19, we all are in the safe hood area of Doc. Throwing those compliments out there, I'm not complaining. Not complaining. Yeah, we just try to show you what we see. And the math is, luckily, for many decades now, our math is really good, and it's been a blessing. The math has been really entertaining to me. I'm hooked on it every day. It keeps me young. Was it the Dukascopy girls, the women at Dukascopy at one point when I was doing webinars? They were convinced that I was only like 33 years old. They said, "Oh no, you can't be in your 50s or 60s. You sound like a young guy." It's like, yeah, well, when you have magical math that keeps you young at heart and keeps your brain really functional, it does. It let's put it this way, it makes trading a hell of a lot easier. That's for sure. All right. Let's put it this way, it makes trading a hell of a lot easier. That's for sure. Where do we go from here? Oh yes. So normally, let's see, we're done all the currencies unless someone wants to see something. Where do we go from here? Oh yes. Let me think. From here we go and look at the stock indices, which we already did. So we're going to go do that again, only a little bit more intimately. Like that word, intimate? From here we go and look at the stock indices, which we already did. So we're going to go do that again, only a little bit more intimate. Like that word. Intimately, yeah. All right. From here you can see the S&P 500 on our short-term intraday, tool. You can see it's trying to roll over again. There's the highs of the day. What was that? That was the 97-ish area, 98.50. We're down about 9 points now, 8 points in the 90s. Where's it at now? 90 and a quarter or something like that, right there. You can see, we went to the sell there. I think the employment numbers came out right here, and let's see, where is it? Right there, the employment data came out. It fell down for about 4 minutes. You can see our math was rolling over from it. Let's widen out a little bit for you. So it went into the sell right there. The second one. Yeah, so it went into the sell there, gave a couple of herk and jerks, and then rolled down. Oh no, that's not it. It's right there. That's at 7:30. Right there. Right there. So it went into the sell right there. So yeah, 0 zeros and a minus 0 zeros. Okay. So I went into the little sell there, red dots, went down a little bit, and then they seemed to give up, and we went right back into the buy. Made new highs, and now you can see we are making lower lows, that type of thing. We were in a big long sell from this one right there. One bounce, and all they gave us is a volatility signal, no clean green dot, so you couldn't change direction, which is perfect because that's what you want to be, is short at like 97 or 98. Watch it go down to 91, so that's a good thing. And then you can see here it tried it again with a red dot, so it didn't work again. So it finally tried to get into a buy right there for 2 bars, and now we're back into that sell again. You can see the work's all pressing down there. So that's the intraday look. From there, we take a look at the Tech 100 on an intraday view at the same time. Same situation. That was the 7:30 move right. Where's it at? Right there. Gave a little one, rallied up, but did not take and make a new high like the way the S&P did. It didn't make a new high and take out these highs here like the S&P did. And it's basically been rolling over ever since. Gave a little strength here and then went into the sell again. No buy signal there. No buy signal there. Still no buy signal, really. It's all been a sell from here. It's been a sell all the way down from the 1499.30ish area to, what is that? No, that's 25. Yeah, 25 area. And now it's trading at 14,989. So like 40 points, 35. It's nothing major. And still pressing down. Now the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is actually showing us some buying strength on a week-to-week basis. Let's see what that did with the noise. There's the 7:30 data right there. Where's it? Right there. Dropped the bar or two, nothing major. Did it even give you a sell? It gave you one sell right there. It went right, and then went into a buy volatility here, and it took off, a little takeoff. Much higher, obviously, than all of those other charts, making the highs of the night and day for Europe. And then going into the sell right here. There was the sell right there from the 34,600 area, and now we were at the 34,005. Went down to 34. It went down 50 points. So a little pressure, and still rolling, on the sell side of things. Oh, you can't see that. Let me fix that. So you can see that there. I hope you saw all those indices. If it jumped up, let me know. I can go back to any one of them if anybody wants to see anything. So then from there, let's see, what else do we got to say about that? That's pretty much the three stock indices. Um, Maybe we'll take a look at the Russell 2000 on the day-to-day. So let's go back to J4X and put in the S&P 500. And there it is right there. And we'll switch over to our daily also at the same time. Let's see right there. As we pointed out before, I think we did this a little earlier today. You can see the strength there for Douglas. And so you can see the dailies and the strength there. But no weekly yet. And then over here for the Tech 100 and the NASDAQ, same situation. Just not enough power to get it to go. Daily's doing fine, but the weekly is just refusing, as you can see right here. And then obviously we took a look at the Dow. I showed it to you earlier, where the weekly is through. There's the Dow. Remember, I'm doing a repeat at the same time, and then what we'll do is we'll throw a new bone in at the same time. We'll throw the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000 into. And then you can see here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as we showed you earlier in the webinar, you know, it's playing with its weekly buy again. Right there. So that's that. Now we'll take a quick look at the, not as if we're in a mad rush. We've got plenty of minutes here if anybody has any questions, but let's just take a quick look at the Russell 2000. Because it's been doing its little march in its own direction of late. Some technical analysts want to say that the market topped out since the Russell has not been able to make a new all-time high back in here in June and July with the rest of the market. But at the same time, it was now refusing to go make a new low, so it's trapped in a range. We have a big triangle going on with this product, as you can't see this right there. So we got like this triangle, made new all-time highs here, made lows here, and now it's been higher lows and lower highs. So it's a real triangle developing here, and you can see the firmness, and we're in a weekly buy for the last couple weeks. It's not exactly giving it up. It's not really interested in giving it up. So this is our weakest of all the stock indices in the United States. The Russell is, you know, under 2 billion, I think. Most of the companies in there are 2 billion or less, something like that, in floated stock and value. So it's an interesting circumstance we got going on here now. The the Dow Jones Industrial Average flirting with a weekly buy. Nasdaq and S&Ps in weekly sells, and the Russell, the most speculative of all the four indexes that we follow here in the States, been in a weekly buy for 2 full weeks out of this whole stuff and refusing to make lower lows. So, you know, it's a seasonal thing, you know, traders, because what happens is that when you have a fund and the end of the year's coming up, you got to take some profits so you can pay yourself and make the investors happy, so they can get paid too. Remember, they want to take some of their profits also. So, yeah, you have a combination: window dressing at the end of months and the beginning of months, and you have profit taking where they've got to take some profits. You have a lot of the hedge funds, now that we're in October, it's coming into November, they're trying to close their books for the year. They're going to be very conservative. They're probably going to throw collars on, you know, sell calls, buy puts, things like that. They're not going to want to give up what they've made for 9 months. They're going to want to hold on to it. Just because if they don't turn, remember, they get 20% of the profits, a lot of these guys. You know, like a Renaissance is getting like 35 or 40% of the profits. You know, when I had my old hedge fund, I think I got 35%, something like that. And I wanted to go to 50%. I was like, I'm not going to do this for anybody, you know, unless I'm getting the same amount of profit out of it. So, it's the end of the year. Now it gets a little sloppier, a little choppier. A little, season. That's why I say you can really talk about it as seasonality. That's what it really comes down to. It's the seasonality of it all. All right, we're getting ready to sing. So if anybody wants to see anything, say it now, because I'm getting ready to sing. U.S. markets open up in another 2.5 minutes. And remember, Doc eats his own cooking. I don't see anything else to say at this point. I think we covered pretty much what we normally cover, and then even doubly at some point here. Canadian twice, the stock indices twice. Pretty cool. I think the energies even, the metals twice. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be TGIF, which is tomorrow. Thank goodness it'll be Friday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you on the flip side. This is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Ta-ta for now.